The first step for making our woven Kumihimo bracelets is to create a tool to weave on. So what you're gonna need to start off with is your cardboard circle, a template, a ruler, and a pencil and a Sharpie. I'm gonna put my circle on top of the template, and using my Sharpie, I'm gonna just put a little black dot everywhere that I see a line. I wanna make sure and hold my template still, because if I let my template move, then they're not gonna be lined up correctly. So you wanna make sure that all of your lines are lined up while you're putting those dots all the way around. Once you've got the dots drawn, you can move your template out of the way, and you're gonna draw lines using a ruler and a pencil. So I'm gonna match up the two lines that are across from each other and draw a line, and I'm gonna match up these two lines. You're just gonna do that all the way around. You're gonna use your Sharpie to draw a dot right in the middle, and then you're gonna use your Sharpie to draw a line that goes about halfway down the pencil line. Don't draw the line all the way to the middle. If you do that, it's gonna mess up the next step. All right, now that I've got all of those lines drawn, I am ready to move on to my next part. I'm gonna be using scissors to cut on the black Sharpie line. I am not gonna cut on the pencil line. If you cut all the way to the dot, it's gonna mess up your tool. And it is really hard to do this project if you're using a tool that has to be held together with tape. It's gonna be a lot easier if you take your time and make sure that you're only cutting on the black Sharpie line. Now that I've cut all the way around, I'm ready to poke a hole in the very middle of my tool. I'm gonna use these red scissors because they're a little bit pointier. A safety tip, you wanna make sure that you do not put your fingers behind the dot, because then when you poke your scissors through, you're gonna poke your scissors. So move your fingers apart, and then you can very carefully poke your scissors through. If you're having a hard time getting it started, there's a special trick that I'm gonna show you. You can use a thumbtack, same thing with the scissors. You wanna make sure your fingers aren't right behind the dot. Use a thumbtack to poke a hole in first, and then I'm kind of like twirling that thumbtack in a circle to make the hole a little bit bigger. It's still not big enough, but it's close. Now I can use the tip of my red scissors. I'm making sure that my fingers are not behind the dot, and I can poke that hole in a little bit bigger with my scissors. That is going to be ready to go. I'm finished making my tool, and the next step is going to be to set up my string on the tool.